There are so many drill videos out there for disc golf form. How do you actually know which ones work? I'm here to tell you. I'm going to review, evaluate, and demonstrate for you the drills that worked for me to help get me to 500 feet of distance. Oh, this is the wind. This is the one. This is the one. Here we go. Ah, float, float, float. Oh, is that it? That could be it, actually. I felt it. For the first video, I'm going to be starting out by showing you a drill from Nick Crush. His drills and his techniques have been one of the primary tools that I've used to help get me to 500 feet. And his channel is one of the main inspirations that made me start a YouTube channel. I figured if that Nick can do it, why not this Nick? You may be saying to yourself, well, that Nick is younger, beefier, more athletic. While that may be so, we're going to be reviewing a drill from Nick Crush's most popular video at this point called Demystifying the Brace. And part 3, one where he actually shows you how to brace. I used to have a crappy brace. Now I have a good brace because of this drill right here.
Well, your brace has always been really beastly, so it makes sense that your one step would follow suit.
I am going to be testing a little bit before and after, both with the tech disc into the net and with some distance lines into the field. I have done this drill in the past already, so I'm not expecting drastic changes, at least as far as throwing into the net goes. But as I get more reps in the field, I'm expecting to see some sort of progress here, even if it's just feeling smoother, more effortless in doing this drill, not necessarily looking to right now pick up some added distance. That comes over time with repetition. I'm not going to be going too in-depth on specifics in terms of how Nick Crush explains these things and his reasoning for each step. If you want to see those things, you got to go to his channel. I'll link that below. What I am going to do is go through the sets myself, talk through what sort of cues and details I've pulled from other channels and my own experience with this drill to tell you sort of what other details you need to know in order to actually execute this drill successfully. Then we'll evaluate, has this actually made any improvements or changes to my form? So how does the drill actually work? Well, he has developed these drills in a series of what he calls evolutions. And to start evolution 1, we're going to be putting down the disc actually. Evolution 1, standstills. Step 2 is you add in a towel and let the arm whip through. Part 3 of the standstills, throwing a disc. Evolution 2, Evolution 3, full X step. That's the drill progression. Go to Nick Crush's channel, support that video, learn how to do it properly. Now I'm going to talk to you about what sort of mental cues and background knowledge I had to gather for this to actually work for me. So first of all, the standstill. The standstill with the towel is something I had to drill over and over until I eventually felt the whip and the snap that comes from getting your weight from your back leg to your front leg before your arm initiates its movement. It's really easy to feel from a standstill once you get this point down. Where I started to run into trouble is how do you adapt from here to here? Because it's hard to butt wipe when you're in the air or already in motion. And the thing that I had to grasp is The butt wipe is really only for a standstill to get you to feel the transfer of weight that happens on its own when you do a run-up. The point of the run-up is to generate momentum that you allow to carry forward and slam into that front leg, stopping it completely right there. This is potentially going to be difficult for you to adapt into your form if you come from a very back leg dominant technique like I do. There was a time when I did the classic falling over the front leg, and then I learned from certain coaches how to generate power from that back leg. But at that point, I became way too reliant on rotational energy pushing off that back leg, and I didn't know how to do a proper brace, and I didn't know how to throw effortlessly. You throw effortlessly by allowing your weight to get onto the front leg and stopping your momentum, and then your arm just comes through basically on its own. You will hear other coaches like DG Spin Doctor and Trebuchet Disc Golf harp on the same thing. Shout out to those channels as well. Here are a couple of cues I picked up from them on how to get this brace drill progression to actually translate into my form. First thing comes from Trebuchet, who has this theory he talks about a lot. I don't know if it comes from him or if he's just promoting it from somebody else's original idea, but he calls it the 3 rails theory. And the 3 rails theory tells you that if I'm throwing towards the camera, my front leg is on one rail, my back leg is on another rail, and my center of gravity, i.e. my hips, are in this middle rail between them. And all 3 of those parts should shift along those rails during the throw, which means, very importantly, for the brace, very easy to work this out in the standstill. You are not shifting your hips forward that way. You are shifting your hips forward towards the direction you're throwing. And because we are on 3 rails and your hips are behind your front leg, that means your weight continues behind your front leg. Front leg here, weight going here. That means your weight really goes into the heel instead of coming forward onto your toes. That's the first major thing to understand. Start practicing that, shifting your weight into your heels. That could solve a lot of issues with power and with accuracy for sure. Secondly, this was an epiphany I had one night, and then coincidentally, the next morning, the first YouTube video I watched was something from DJ Spin Doctor, where he talks about something exactly the way that I started picturing it, which is how do you actually convert the butt wipe from standstill into a full run-up? The way that it came to me that actually started to click was watching or thinking about a video of Paul Macbeth and the way that his weight shifts into the front leg. It looks like he is falling into his brace leg during the run-up. So he's simply letting his weight go forward and catching it with that front leg and stopping it from going forward. The way that I started to feel this falling into the front leg, he and some others talk about it like sitting into the front leg, really using the pushing off of the ground rather than a push forward. It's a push off the ground. The way that I was able to actually start doing this and see results from it in the field and on the tech disc is to emulate what I see certain pros doing. Specifically, what comes to mind when I'm picturing this always is Big Germ or Jasper Till, who won the world's distance contest. They seem to do this thing where they are leaning their heads forward And it always looked weird to me, and I thought, I don't want my form to look like that. But I'll tell you why they do it. Leaning your head in that direction makes you want to bring your weight in that direction. So by leaning this way with my head, it cues my body to get my weight all the way forward onto that front leg. And when I do that, I don't actually have to think too hard about the brace. All I have to do is lean my head that way, let the weight come, and stop myself from falling forward into the net or off the front of the tee box. If I've stopped my momentum completely before the throw initiates, I've braced. That's it. You don't have to look too much further than that to know that you're actually bracing correctly. If I am moving forward and stop before the arm comes through, and you can see that my body stops after the brace, there might be a little momentum, but I should be balanced on this front leg. Then I've gotten the energy from the run up into the disc. I think at this point, everybody's obsessed with brace and knows why it's important, but one explanation that really resonated with me came from Trebuchet. Just a quick little snippet. He said, this is the thing that will actually scale up, allow you to scale up power with a faster run up. If you run faster into it, but you are not able to brace, you're just wasting extra energy, and you should probably just do a slower run up. When done right, you will really feel like your momentum from the run up stops and is carried straight into the disc, and you get that effortless feeling that you're probably craving. I'm gonna throw some test throws, run this drill myself, and then do some more throws after the drill and see how I feel. We're back. It's the next day. All the batteries died, and it's better anyway because now I can come out with a fresh body of the day. So I've already done a little bit of a warm-up. No full power shots quite yet. And I'm gonna start off with some pre-drill measurements on the tech disc. Then we'll do some throws in the field. Oh, and it's a Nick Crush drill, so the shirt had to come off. During these run-ups, just keep an eye on that front leg.
59.1 miles per hour.
This is just a brace drill.
59.2 miles per hour.
So we're really just interested in what that front leg's doing.
61.4 miles per hour. 63.9 miles per hour. 61.9 miles per hour. 63.8 miles per hour. 61.6 miles per hour. 61.8 miles per hour. 61.6 miles per hour.
Not bad. I sort of expect my brace to look pretty good throwing into the net. This is where I really need to work on things, is keeping that same form consistent when throwing into the field. And you can see already in these first couple throws, right at that point when the disc is coming out of my hands, I haven't achieved a nice brace leg extension there. It's much more bent than you see with my throws into the net. It is still stopping my momentum pretty well, but it's still an area for improvement. And you can also see that a lot of the time I'm sort of flinging over the top and dragging my weight to the right after the throw. This is not what we want. What we want is to let that brace leg stop us and send the arm forward. Of course, this is just a brace drill again, so I'm not too concerned with the arm mechanics in this one or the distance. I've done the drill. Time to take a little bit of a rest, and then we're gonna run the test back. Not expecting big differences here.
61.5 miles per hour. 60.5 miles per hour. 63.8 miles per hour. 60.8 miles per hour. 61.7 miles per hour. 62.9 miles per hour. 60.6 miles per hour. 63.4 miles per hour. 63.0 miles per hour.
Pretty good overall. You could see my brace leg gets almost a full extension on every throw. But here again is where we want to see if there's actually any improvements made from the first time around throwing it to the field. The distance here isn't actually a super great tell for how the drill is performing here, because there's just too many factors that go into a proper distance line. I tried to throw these as consistently as I could, but there's a lot of variables at play here. What's more important is, again, just to evaluate, is my brace better in this set than in the set before the drill? And we want to continue to see that improvement every time we're doing these drills in the field. You got to video yourself, actually go back and check, make sure you're doing the brace when you go for your real throws. I'm trying to throw all these at about 85% power just for consistency and smoothness, repeatability. And I think that was my biggest throw of the day right there. I-blend Emperors, if you're not throwing these yet, you absolutely got to get one of these in your bag. This one is the only disc I've hit 500 feet with so far, so hopefully eventually this thing gets too flippy for me, but for those of you like me in the 60 to 65 mile an hour range for your average throw, these things are great. And here you can see a little before and after snapshot I took the moment the disc comes out of my hand. Really important thing to look at there is just the little extra leg extension there and just how much more my back shoulder is staying behind the brace and not over rotating through like it is in the before picture. All right, I'll stop there. Let me know in the comments if you still have more questions or comment on Nick Crush's channel. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you appreciated this type of content and you want to see me review other drills, explain how I utilize those drills, or just see some testing with the tech disc, what those drills can improve, please let me know down in the comments. As a fledgling channel, every like, view, and subscribe really counts. So I really appreciate it. It really helps. I appreciate the views I've gotten so far on the short. First long vid, more to come.